This is your daily market recap for Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Train Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Monday, June 20th, 2022. Let's get into it. Again, if you are newer to the channel, please stop by the Discord room. Link is in the description below. I want to start off with a little rant about just kind of in general the average trader, and maybe this hits home with some people, maybe it doesn't, but had this rant today in the Discord room about how people don't really have systems. You know, they don't really have anything to really rely upon on how to enter a trade, why to enter a trade, what they're looking for. You know, are they anticipating things? And it was just kind of frustrating because, you know, I read people's posts and I feel like they're no different than a kid who is given a basketball and thinks that they can all of a sudden just make money and that they're going to do well at trading. Just because you have money does not make you a good trader. Just because you've succeeded in any other part of your life doesn't make you a good basketball player or a good trader. I've warned this to people all the time, that you as a person learn how to do things on their own. And again, they don't always translate over. Now, there's some people who are better at risk management and understanding things, but it's just sad that in the Discord room and on Stock Twits and FinTwit, I just recognize that a lot of people are just trading to trade. They don't know why they're trading. They don't have stops. They really don't have a plan. You know, they just keep shorting, keep buying things. They don't really understand what they're doing. And so I hope this channel and this information, this room, helps you see that, hey, if you don't know what you're doing, less is more. Don't just jump into trading like a gambling game, because again, you're not going to learn on the job. And if you do, it's probably going to be expensive, because you think about it. Most people fail in trading. Don't be that person. And again, sorry to start the rant on that, but I've noticed that in the last couple of days, I keep telling people to take profits as the markets have dropped. People just want to either short more, or they're just doing crazy stuff. I mean, it's like, what are you doing? Like, just because the market's open and a stock has triggered this level or something, you're just going to trade to trade. And it's like, don't even think twice about what's going on in your surroundings. Really dangerous. A lot of people are doing it. Anyway, on that note, again, if you have questions, because usually the difference, because people give back a lot of the money, they make a big trade and then they trade more just to trade versus take that big gain, take some out to live on, and be prosperous and wait. Like, let the trades come to you. Nope. Just made $5,000 trading. Gotta go back into something else, see if I can make another $5,000. And it's like, no, you just executed a well thought out trade. Like, don't expect like something to be there every day, every minute that you're awake trading. It's just so dumb, so silly. Bitcoin, we talked about holding these levels in the green. Seems very clear that this is the first bounce spot. And what do we do? Hey, look at that, we bounced. Not bad so far. Again, I don't know how high this bounces. I don't trust Bitcoin in the near term. Kind of like I don't trust gold, just like I don't trust silver. None of these names seem that appealing to me, because again, the market in itself, these things are not down. I mean, I guess Bitcoin is technically down. Some of these things, again, are very, I wouldn't say retail driven, but they're good hedges, but they're also not. And if that doesn't make sense, then you don't understand liquidity. When the market is selling, these things get wasted. Now, I think the market might be bottoming near term. We get to the end of the quarter. July is usually bullish. Earnings are usually bullish. It might be a kitchen sink quarter. Again, bear markets take months and months to play out. I mean, in 12 to 18 months. So if we're 6 months in, after 20% down, I'll not be surprised if these bounce. However, if these do bounce, trade them accordingly. Know your levels. Again, I mean, I think people who jump into gold go, well, it's not down a lot, I think it's stronger. And it's like, well, maybe, but something like Bitcoin that's gotten absolutely kicked in its teeth in might have more room to bounce. Again, be safe, be smart. Oil, we talked about shorting this. We said it was a retest of the highs, shorting it. We'll get into more of the oil trades, but again, if the market's going to rally, you need to see oil down. You need to see bonds rally. You need to see bonds bought and yields down. I'll say it over and over and over again. If you want to confirm market strength, you're going to need to see bonds rally, yields go down, and you're going to need to see oil drop, because inflation is what causes recessions with bear markets. So if you want a temporary reprieve, then guess what? We need to see a temporary reprieve And oil, you need to see it drop. Like, that's going to be one of the keys. And that's why I'm still short oil. Maybe not so much as heavy into the oil service names, because again, they've taken an absolute beatdown. But this is the stuff you're looking for. Again, if you're newer to the channel, check out the Twitter page. I'm dropping tons of ideas. And now when I say ideas, a lot of them are swing trading. A lot of them are certain things. And for example, we got into Meta today. And you can see it. Look at it. Monthly, 0.618. Channel, lows. I mean, a lot of little things here for a swing. But also, too, you know, we identified, look at the volumes down here. Somebody was doing something. Again, we'll get into it here shortly when we get deeper into the trade. All right, TLT. I've told this to people a billion times. Please don't chase bottoms. We had a doji on Friday. Now a doji today, gap down. Now, I like the action for a bottoming process. One day doesn't always make a bottom. Again, you have to know the market, you have to kind of know what's going on. At this point, I've said it a billion times. Anything under 110, I start to like. If you think this zone on the monthly is the bottom, which I think it is for now, 108, 110, then what? It's probably going to bounce. I've said it a million times. I think we get up to the 120s, maybe 130s if we legitimately get like a bear market smash and people start running into bonds because oil gets absolutely murdered and commodities in general just get absolutely smashed. Now, again, if that doesn't happen, then we might have a next leg of inflation with higher yields. But near term, break out of the channel one more time, back into it. Would not surprise me if we get to channel highs, 125, 100-day, maybe even some of these older channels. We'll talk about that when we get there because, again, let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's just get the bottom and then we'll go from there. The dollar, said this a billion times. Monthly, big channel. We're breaking out of it. Near term could be chopping. You have like this little cup and handle here. Could it go higher? I also could call this an M top. Now keep in mind, when you break out of the channel, maybe we come back in it, maybe we consolidate. The dollar has been going higher. Now again, if you think about the monthly chart, it could take months of consolidation. Like, you don't have to sit here and think like tomorrow's up, next week has to be up big for it to be a continuation. VIX, what do we say? Compressing under this trend line, or it's going to come back down to range lows. I personally think at this point, it's tough to know. I think you get one big pop-up, maybe, or we might go back down to the end, go down back to the chop lows. Last time we had earnings was this in April. Keep in mind, earnings are every 3 months. What do we do? The last couple earnings, it's just been chopping. I wouldn't be surprised if the VIX may have potentially topped as well. I mean, again, you have to play the probabilities. We don't know anything for certain, right? I would say, though, as we get into the SPY, keep in mind, so the VIX would probably consolidate. Channel lows put you in the low 20s, right? Let a little bit of earnings pass on, let a little consolidation happen in the market. Not surprised it bounced. We talked about this. If you zoom out, you can see we're getting pretty oversold. Now people say, oh, you didn't hit your target. And it's like, I don't need to hit my target to tell you to stop, to take money from shorting. This is a decent move down, irregardless of what's going on. We talked about channel lows, breaking out of it. Now you got back into it. Now what? It's probably, now again, could it be this kind of action you need to retest later? Probably. Now again, look at March going into April. Here was the end of the quarter. No, sorry, it's not. End of the month was up here. Yeah. Again, I'm trying to find something as a replication of it, but something like this bottom, something like this bottom. Keep in mind, it's probably not a V. And if it is, and you took some action here, it's tough to go bigger because, again, I need retests to confirm bottoms. If you don't get retests, it's okay. You can still trade action, but just not as heavily because, again, the retest iron out the spots. QQQ. Talked about this guy being a, I mean, you could technically, let me see this. Ay, caramba. Let me just shift it. Yeah, you could say we're at the channel, we held the channel lows. And there's a million ways to draw it. Now, again, doesn't have to be exact. Not surprised if we bottomed. Here you go into March, run up into April and the earnings. Same thing. I think we're probably going to run up into earnings. Just how it bottoms, I don't know. Again, we need to watch oil. We need to watch a lot of factors. Hopefully. Oh, and if you're wondering what levels, I mean, again, bear market rallies can be pretty ridiculous. At this point, 20-day, above the 20-day seems to be like the trap. But you don't know. Again, well, this is what I hate when people go, give me a price target, Dan. Why don't we identify the bottom or top, and then we'll go from there? How about that? Because we don't know what the market's going to be like when the market's making these moves. Kind of have to just go with the flow, and that's why we anticipate. That's why we're good at this. Channel low, same thing with the IWM on the monthly. Check this out. We're back at the 2020 and 2018 highs. Not surprised if you get a bounce. Keep in mind, the Feds meet with Congress this week, if I'm correct, and that's usually can be a little bit of volatility. Gold. Now here you go. So this is the thing that's different between gold and Bitcoin. I don't see gold going higher, as in I can see Bitcoin popping from here. And now again, people are like, oh, you love gold. Yes, I do, but I also know that if the market gets comfortable again with risk, gold's going to get sold. And it's not oversold. It's not like down 60, 70% off the highs. It's just tracking highs. Again, I still think the 158 to 160 range is going to get bought. I say this every day, and people get mad at me, and they DM me, and they say, you don't know what you're talking about with gold. And it's like, I've been trading gold for for as long as some of you guys, when you were in diapers, I was trading gold. It's not easy. You might have a double top bottom here. I really think it's going to blow out because, again, the best trades are the blowouts. We're not at a blowout. That was a nice pullback, but one leg, 2 legs, 3 legs, 3 waves. Now, again, the waves aren't perfect. I could see, again, and we talked about the chop. At least we were, again, timing-wise, we talked about it. Now what? Coming back down. Same thing with silver. Love these names long-term, though, but I don't want to buy them until people give up. At the 20-day, could it bounce back up to 20, mid-20s? Probably. Maybe even the 50-day. I just don't think, I think there's better trades out there. That's the hardest thing. So people are like, oh, well, I'd like this. And it's like, hey, there's a lot of other trades out there. Again, channel lows. Maybe it plays this game. I really think it's going to be a blowout at some point, and we'll just hold the channel lows. GDXJ, same thing. Like these levels for trades, but I'm not that excited about it. Again, because the seasonality. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say you get June bottoms, which I'm not going to argue that in gold. It's just how high are you going to rally? Like, that's the thing. It's like, what do you want, a 5% move, or we can find trades that move 5% in a day? I just don't think that the juice is there. AG, I put out tons of tweets about all these names. I still don't think they're buys. Again, they could bounce here. How much? I don't know, 10%, maybe 15%. I just don't like again, show me a wipeout. Show me a complete market wipeout, and then I'll show you a bottom that it will buy. Because Meta is a good example. Facebook today had some really, tons of bad news, and then look at the action. We're going to talk about that. And that's the kind of bottom you want to look for. I want to see the economy just hit the shitters and people freak out, and then gold drop, silver drop, because again, liquidation breaks. We're not there yet. So NFGC, same kind of thing. I like it, but I don't want to buy it here. I'd wait. Just wait. AEN, PAAS, same thing. Again, a lot of people go, oh, you're missing out on these moves. I'm like, if I miss out, fine. I'm going to have better trades that are move faster, because these are not going to lift till the Fed signify they're done tightening. If you don't think so, then study the past. Now, again, maybe they're about to go loose. I don't know. But these names, I think, will pull back because the market's going to wipe out at some point. And we haven't in there. When you haven't even had VIX 40 or 50 in this bear market, which is the minimum. Not even close. Letter X, a lot of people, again, where are you buying it? 18, 16, I don't know. Just let it ride. I think it could bounce. All of these names. CCJ, I said, probably could bounce here, but I don't want to buy it. I don't want to buy it. Hit the channel low. Come on, expand with me. That's not what I want. Oh, here you go. Hit the channel low again. Bouncing. How high? It's still a head and shoulders top. It can wave 1, wave 2. Again, I'm not really a big wave theory guy, but I do believe that there is symmetrical action within a market. Like this down wave is equivalent almost that down wave size wise. And then you bounce, chop. Now it doesn't necessarily matter. Again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's why I hate wave theory. It's so stupid. But there is structure to the market. VALE, same thing. Love it. Maybe it fills this gap down here. That's why I put some alerts on the 11s. Save it. This double bottoming, maybe. Again, I'm not that excited about this stuff. You can tell in my tone. I'm just like, just wait. Arrow, same thing, oversold. Look at the volume. No one's buying it down here, but it's rallying because it's oversold. Like this thing in the 8s. Just wait. Mosaic CF. Again, long-term love these names. Think they could bounce here. We talked about the whole channel high, maybe 200-day. Maybe it bounces 10 points. I don't know. CF, same thing. Channel lows, maybe it bounces. Head and shoulders top. Just wait. Wait. Maybe it gets down into the 70s, maybe in the 50s. There's not a lot to say here. People want instant access to massive amounts of trading knowledge and insight. Well, guess what? The best insight is sometimes that there's nothing to do. You can expect bounces, but it's a bear market. I want to share short stuff. I'll play some up stuff if it has catalyst. If it has catalyst, hear those words. Well, AMD, we've said 80. We've also said the 70s. Well, we held the channel or the range highs. Now, again, if it bounces here, this is where you take profits off. You know, if you were 100% short AMD at 80, you were silly. I mean, I'm down to 10% of my short. And all my tech names. Expect them to rally at some point. The risk is not worth the reward. Where to? We'll see it when it plays out. Apple. Same thing. Not surprised. Held this rank, like old channel low. Yeah, I mean, it got below here what I thought was the support range in the 130s. Bounce back. Not surprised. I mean, that's 3 straight months of paying going into earnings. Who knows what the earnings are going to be. Kitchen sink quarter. Again, wait for the pop to short. You know, slightly lower. I mean, keeping it like rubber band theory. Man theory. Big down, pop. Getting a little more tired. Maybe it can make a little lower low. I don't know. Meta, this is one we purchased today. Let's go through the trade. Channel lows, right? Clear as day, right? I apologize because remember, Meta took over. Facebook became Meta, so all my charts don't have their old information. 0.618, got it right. Channel low again. We talked about this. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. It's real simple. Stock's down from 380s or whatever down to 150s. Probably oversold. Gonna bounce. They had a bunch of news today about Russia, and then what was it? Federal Trade Commission stuff. I don't know. I mean, again, it didn't matter because again, at the lows, news proceed. Lifts you to what? Potential bottoming. That's what we're looking for. God, I hate the 10-minute. All these extra bars. How do I get rid of all sessions? Why do I not remember this thing? Whatever. Whether you can add the finishing move. Get rid of that crap. Remove the wave. So one of the things that we talked about, I mean, here, hopefully you can see it in the 120. Very clear. Good. Rubber band man theory, right? Big down, chop, lower lows. Notice how you're losing amplitude of down. See pretty clearly we're at the channel lows. Gosh, I can't draw today. Come on, friend. There we go. Notice the volume down here. This news came out, and then at the end of the day, the action actually compressed. Check it out. I mean, you can see very clearly. We talked about all of this like sideways action. It's like, who's absorbing all of this? Because you and I, friend, can't stop this drop. Someone with big money can. And so after this news, I mean, keep in mind, it gapped up. This is also an anomaly from last week. Look at this thing. Big ass volume. You make new lows. It's like a little M, and then wham. And then somebody has the capacity to stop the down. Does that mean it's bottomed? Now, again, someone's going to go, if one goes to 155, I'm going to get a mean tweet going, no, it didn't bottom. Okay, I get it. However, the risk is worth the reward. We're at the channel lows, right? How high can it go? I mean, again, even if you just want to play this for 10 points, it's better than nothing. Look where it's come from. Look at the people go, oh, it's a engulfing bar down. Keep in mind, news at the lows gets priced in. I mean, maybe it's already priced in. We don't know that, but the risk is worth the reward. Remember, the market maker is a liquidity seeker. They got their liquidity today. Think about it down here too. Remember this day, it was tons of liquidity. Then you gapped up, went to channel highs immediately. And then they clearly unloaded it up here. Someone's buying it. Someone's absorbing it down here. I don't doubt. I just don't doubt if we go higher. And now again, someone goes, well, what's the trade? Honestly, it's just buy the lows and set a stop. I mean, if you really want to break it down to the simple fundamental level of what it really is, take off all this charting. You know, you see the volume price action that shows you clearly a buy signal, right? Someone has stopping power. Someone has the ability to, the rubber band man's getting tired. You're at channel lows. Look at the volume. Look at the biggest candle. This is an anomaly. Please do not get this twisted. If you don't know what a VPA anomaly looks like, here's one. So we have a huge volume and small candle size. That means somebody has the ability to stop the action. Buy it, set a stop. That's all you have to do. How high you should go, I guess follow us for more. We'll talk about it daily. But put yourself in a position to swing it for a little bit. Somebody was buying next week's calls, the 155s. I'm like, that's great, but I mean, how long? It could take 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get back up to the highs. I don't know. Just be safe. That's all I'm saying. Like, don't put yourself in a rush. Because again, if you have to take 5 points and then this thing drops 20, 30, 40, 50 points, you're going to be so pissed that you bought options. And again, this is why I hate giving information on options, because people just screw this stuff up. They can't even swing trade. They have money. They have a basketball. They just don't know how to play basketball, period. They don't know the fundamentals. How to move without the ball. They don't know how to practice. I mean, again, just amazed. I'll get a million questions about this, and then it'll bounce, and they'll be like, well, I bought calls for next week. What do I do? Shouldn't have bought calls for next week at the lows. If you're going to swing trade, it's going to take days, weeks. Give yourself time. Really simple. Roadblocks. Put this on the radar, because again, if this is a higher low here, it might pop up to the 40s. We talked about volume price analysis, picking the bottom here. Look at all these anomalies. Big volume at the lows, capitulation, reverse of this. At the lows, probably going to bounce. Tesla. Now, a lot of people asking me about this one, like, hey, should I short it? I'm like, wait. Again, I don't like shorting stuff when the market looks poised to bounce. Now, it doesn't mean necessarily Tesla's going to rip back to 1,000 and short it, but give yourself like a reference somewhere in this 800 range, maybe the 50-day. I don't know. Wait, please wait. Again, here's an example of fundamentals don't matter. Maybe it's bottoming down here. I don't know. The stock is so oversold. Keep an eye on it. UTHR said had to hold the 215 range, 220 range. So far, so good. Had to hold the 20-day. Now hitting back to the highs. I said, watch out what happens when we get back to the highs. All right, just be careful. Be careful, because again, we talked about buying it down here. Again, volume price analysis. Here's your double bottom again, a lower high or higher low. Zing. Now what? Probably a double top, and then from there, I don't know. All right, oil. Here we go. Here is, again, sentiment just wiped out with Facebook, maybe at bottom. Sentiment all in with oil. We talked about this making new higher highs, but actually not on the futures market. Now short any pop. People are like, oh, you're crazy. I'm like, well, what is the thesis? If the market is going to rise, oil has to drop. Keep in mind, the oil market makers have unlimited liquidity down here, and then they started puking it here. I guarantee something's coming to puke. Like they're taking their profits, and you're buying it. I mean, you, like the generic retail public that just doesn't know what's going on. Not you, friend, who's in this room. Be safe. Again, I think you can short pops. Just don't chase it. I get 10 questions a day. Is it time to short oil? And it's like, where were you last week, bub? You couldn't short it at the highs. This is why we like trying to identify the highs and lows, because then you can withstand this crap. Now, I don't know. Does it turn into an M? Does it have a lower high? I don't know. This could be like the blow off. I don't know. I just don't know, man. XOP. Same stuff. Blowout. Here we come. Could it bounce? Yeah, I think it might turn into a head and shoulders. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean oil has to go higher. Keep in mind, these names are very much tied to S&P 500. Well, maybe not the S&P 500, but just in general, the market, IWM. If the market's rising, these things will probably rise. Keep that in mind. Just be safe. Be smart. Be safe. Be smart. We get it? Got it? Good. All right. Exxon Mobil. People were talking about shorting this today. I'm like, no. Big volume, 100-day. It's probably going to bounce. I said wait to fill the gap at 95, maybe the 20-day. You can't be early with options. That's the problem. Stock, you can. Wait for retests. I always say that with options, you know, like pick a retest. Don't pick the top with options. I hate that. Drives me crazy. Because if you try to pick the top with options without some sort of retest or intraday retest, you're going to lose money. I mean, it's just it's almost guaranteed. Anyway, let's get into some of the oil names to finish it off. Because, again, I think this is a sector that's worth watching. UNG, we talked about this a lot, that this is what triggered oil lower. I mean, nat gas is going lower. We think it's peaked. And now, again, it could get choppy. Don't be surprised. Valero, again, this was trading at 27 times earnings. This was silly, stupid. Nice pop-up. Now, again, watch the ranges. Maybe it fills the gap, going lower. Again, I think all these names will go lower because the market's going to need to see oil down. Chevron, blown out, popping back. Not surprised. We talked about this action up here. This candle specifically was a very scary. There we go. Now what? FANG. Again, these names are just, they're very volatile. Hit the 200-day. Look at that gap up. Again, it makes sense why the XOP is bouncing. I hope people see that. Exxon Mobil. And again, it doesn't and notice oil wasn't even up that big today. Because inherently these companies do well if oil is at 110, 105 potentially. Keep that in mind. Like, think about that. PXD. Out of PXD. Same thing. Came into the support zone. Bounce. Not surprised. All right, well, I mean, I appreciate everybody and love you guys. I just be safe, please. Like, if you have questions, stop by the room. And again, if you are newer to trade and you've gotten this far in the video, stop by the Discord room, stop in, ask some questions, try to do a little work. But keep in mind, like, if you have not made money in trading, you've been managing money for years. It doesn't even matter. And you don't really know what you're doing. Like, you think you know, and you feel like you don't really have any systems or any like real structure. You're just like, well, I buy the dips and I sell the rips, or I do this and I follow people on Twitter and then I lose my. Stop doing that. You need to become the best player you can. Again, you've got the basketball, you've got the tools to learn, but you got to practice and you got to understand why things happen. Now, people love the retort like, are you a billionaire? No, not at all. I had to learn the hard way. Again, I made the same mistakes over and over to the point where I'm like, something's got to give, because I'm winning, I'm losing, winning, I'm losing, winning, I'm losing, winning, losing. That was all mental. It wasn't that I knew how to trade. It was just that, again, this can be a part of why your problems are. You don't know how to manage risk. You jump back into a trade. Like, we're all inherently gamblers trading. We just don't want to make this gambling. All right? Hope that helps. Again, like, I'm human, you're human. We're all going to make mistakes. It's just, can you grow from them? That's the question. Do you need to make mistakes to grow, or can you learn from someone like myself or the group in the Discord room? Like, hey, don't do this. Why? Because of this. Okay, you know, they say, you know, smart guy learns from his mistakes. The wise man learns from others' mistakes. That's what I would be doing. All right, I'll talk to you guys and gals later. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.